So I already made a video about moment of inertia, area moment of inertia, mass moment of inertia, and what is its significance, and what is the basic formula for finding mass moment of inertia, area moment of inertia, everything. In fact, both mass moment of inertia, area moment of inertia is going to be a part of engineering mechanics syllabus, but it is required for us also. It's required for us in the sense it's required for both strength of materials and engineering mechanics. So I decided to add this particular topic, that is moment of inertia topic, for both strength of materials and engineering mechanics course. And in this strength of materials course, I will be adding only area moment of inertia videos. Okay, that is a constant values of area moment of inertia, parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem for area moment of inertia. And I won't be discussing about mass moment of inertia here. Regarding mass moment of inertia, we'll be discussing separately when we are in engineering mechanics. Okay, so that is not required for strength of materials course. In engineering mechanics, I will be comprising everything: the idea of moment of inertia, then significance of it, basic formula, area moment of inertia, parallel axis theorem, perpendicular axis theorem, standard formulas, then parallel axis theorem, perpendicular axis theorem for mass moment of inertia, and standard formulas for mass moment of inertia. Okay. Right, so now we will start discussing about parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem in area moment of inertia, for area moment of inertia. Okay. Right, to start with, I am going to start with parallel axis theorem. Okay. So what is mean by this parallel axis theorem, we will see. Okay. See, very simple. If suppose there was a body like this, okay, if any body, any planar body, because we are dealing with area moment of inertia. So area moment of inertia mostly will be determining for planar bodies only. Planar body means its thickness is almost negligible, very small. Okay. So if there is a planar body, and if I am going to determine, let us take this is center of gravity. Okay. Let us take center of gravity. Let it be C. Okay, center of gravity or centroid. Okay, centroid of a planar body C, and I am determining moment of inertia about this centroidal axis, and let that moment of inertia be Ig. Okay, Ig is moment of inertia about centroidal axis. This Ig value is most of the times it is like what I can say, it is for a well known shape, for example rectangle, triangle, square, circle. Okay, so for all the well known shapes, this Ig value is already known. Okay. Means we can easily derive it, we can easily determine it. So about centroidal axis we can determine. Okay, I will be giving you that values. Okay, about centroidal axis, all the values I will be giving you. Okay, so that we can determine. But if I want to find out moment of inertia at any axis, at any other axis, okay, let me take this axis is some h. Okay, this is centroidal axis, let it be c. Okay, so there is another axis h, and that axis is parallel to centroidal axis. Okay, there was another axis, and that axis is parallel to centroidal axis, and it is present at a distance. It is present at a distance h. Okay, so this is centroidal axis. Moment of inertia of centroidal axis is known, but I want to find out what is moment of inertia about this axis hh, and this hh is parallel to centroidal axis. How to determine? We can determine by using parallel axis theorem. What actually it states? Moment of inertia of any axis which is parallel to centroidal axis will be equal to moment of inertia about centroidal axis plus area. Since it is area moment of inertia, I need to use area. So this area of this figure, like figure in the sense for the figure which you are finding Ig. Okay, for the figure which you are going to find moment of inertia. Okay, area of that planar figure into h square, where h is nothing but distance between these two axes, distance between centroidal axis and the parallel axis h. Okay, so this is parallel axis theorem, and it will be very useful for us. Okay, so they could ask, if it is in engineering mechanics, they can ask direct questions also from this. Okay, so in engineering mechanics topics, right? So directly they will give some figures, and for that figure you might know Ig. For example, I am stating they will give a figure like this, or else they will give an I-shaped figure like this. In fact, there was in GATE mechanical paper, there was one question in this. Okay, there is an I-shaped figure, and they asked moment of inertia about this axis. Okay, about this axis. About centroidal axis, it is very easy to determine. Okay, so I won't be solving those types of problems here. I'll be solving those types of problem in engineering mechanics course. Okay, so here I'm not going to solve it, but I'm just saying you, I can determine Ig easily. This is centroid. Okay, so Ig can be determined easily. After determining Ig, what I need to do? Simply by using that Ig, and I can determine this IO. How? Just by using this formula. Okay, if I know this distance, and if I know this area of this total figure, then directly I will use this formula, then I can get I naught. Okay, right. Similarly, I can determine for any axis. Okay, so I can determine for any axis which is parallel to this centroidal axis. Okay, so there was one question in mechanical paper. It is if my memory is right, it is in GATE 2016. Okay, right. So now let us proceed for next theorem, perpendicular axis theorem. If you are listening stenthometrics class, then this formula only will be enough. We will be doing some, whenever required, we will be using it. For mechanics, we will be discussing problems in detail. Okay, so regarding moment of inertia also. Now let us proceed for next, that is perpendicular axis theorem. Let us consider a planar figure like this, a circle. Okay, I am considering a circle. You can imagine this. Okay, this surface, but I am considering a planar figure, so it is not having the 3 dimension. That is, this thickness is approximately 0. You can consider this thickness of this marker is approximately 0. This planar figure, okay, a circle. Here I can take 3 different axes, xx, y, and third axis perpendicular to the plane, right, perpendicular to this circular plane, and let that be z. Okay, like at that side also it will be there z. Okay, so just perpendicular to the plane. And if I find moment of inertia about xx, yy, it is just moment of inertia or area moment of inertia about xx and yy. If I find moment of inertia about this z axis, it's nothing but polar moment of inertia. We already discussed about this in the introductory video of moment of inertia. So moment of inertia, if I am finding about this axis, it is polar moment of inertia. If I am finding moment of inertia about ixx and iyy, it is normal area moment of inertia. And for applying this perpendicular axis theorem, all these 3 axes, xx and yy, is in the plane. Okay, in the plane of the figure. Z is perpendicular to plane of the figure. If you want to apply perpendicular axis theorem, 2 conditions are there. One is this figure should be planar, which means the thickness is approximately 0. Okay, that is the thickness is very small. And second condition is all these 3 axes should be concurrent. Concurrent in the sense all should meet at exactly same point. And one more thing, all these 3 should be perpendicular to each other. So it is something like this: y, x, z, and x-axis, y-axis perpendicular to each other, z-axis, x-axis perpendicular to each other. Similarly, y-axis and z-axis should be perpendicular to each other. So all 3 like this: x, y, and z. Okay, so all 3, this is perpendicular to each other, this is perpendicular, this is perpendicular. All 3 should be perpendicular to each other, and x-axis, y-axis is in the plane. Okay, and z-axis is perpendicular to the plane. Okay, and if I find moment of inertia about z-axis, it is nothing but polar moment of inertia. Now, what does perpendicular axis theorem states? What are the conditions I said? Planar figure, and all 3 should be concurrent, and all 3 should be perpendicular to each other. If that is the case, then by perpendicular axis theorem I can state polar moment of inertia J, which is nothing but Izz, is equal to Ixx plus Iyy. So if you know Ixx and Iyy, okay, if you know Ixx and Iyy, then I can determine Izz. Okay, so that is what perpendicular axis theorem is stating.